Hey loves, welcome back. So today I'm doing my second trimester recap as a first time mommy. So no particular order, these are just all the symptoms I felt like I experienced in the second trimester. But the main one I do remember getting first was headaches. Right at the end of first trimester, I went right into second trimester and they took me out. A couple of them had me out for the day, could not go to work. I'm very concerned. To the doctors I went because I suffered from headaches, but the pain and the headache intensity I was having, yeah, I wanted to get checked out, make sure there was nothing going on with like preeclampsia or anything like that, because that can be a sign. So make sure you know your body and always bring it up to your doctor if something's off. I still did not really get any motivation in the second trimester. Like I still didn't want to do anything. I was still off of YouTube for 4 months. Didn't want to like participate in any like life activities really. It was a lot because my second trimester was through the summer. So I think maybe I was just kind of feeling like I can't do anything. It's summertime and I don't want to do anything. A symptom I was not liking was I was getting super hairy. Like my facial hair was going insane. My mustache was getting really bad, and I was even getting like fuzz around like my jawline, like my chin to my jawline. And I've never been a person to have like whiskers or fuzz down here, like peach fuzz, but like this was like dark, thicker black fuzz. And I was like, what is happening? To the point where like I waxed my whole lower jaw. I just put wax and like peeled it right off because I was like, this is too much. My belly started getting more hair and still has, but like that's when it started with second trimester, was just getting more body hair in general. My feet started swelling, especially because I worked longer hours, like 9 hours on my feet, but they were definitely starting to swell. Stretch marks started for me in the second trimester. I'm already prone to them, but yeah, I started getting a little bit more of like the red stretch marks. I'm like, okay, they're coming. Let me hop on it, even though I did start using stuff in the beginning. But yeah, they definitely popped up in the second trimester. And in the second trimester, I got sick twice. I got a cold. So I think my immune system just really dropped because my doctor said, like, you're just really prone to getting sick because you're pregnant. And yeah, I was not fun. Second trimester, having a cold twice was a lot. And the second cold ended up going into like my ears and having a whole ear infection. I got put on antibiotics and everything for it. To the point where it was concerning me on how sick I was getting. I think I got sick like 3 to 4 times, not throwing up, like a physical cold, like throat swelling, nose running, sneezing, all of that. And then not really symptoms, but like a change is that my belly started to slightly pop, but not much. Only when I wore like maternity clothes is when you would see the belly more. So like this photo I'm going to put here is like when you could see it. But anytime I was wearing other clothes, like my normal clothes still fit and no one could really see the stomach. On to doctor's visits and milestones. Not much for this category. The way it worked for me is that I didn't get to hear baby's heartbeat until I had a doctor's appointment, and they used the little they used the Doppler. I didn't hear the heartbeat at the original ultrasound. They showed me it, but then I never got to hear it. So I got to hear it at the doctor's appointment with the Doppler. Then in the second trimester, I had the anatomy scan. So they did that. They did that twice for me because the first time the girl, she couldn't see something properly. So then I had to go back and then she did it again. But everything was good with that. They said it was fine. It was just the way the baby was positioned. The anatomy scan, we got to find out the gender, and like we did a whole gender reveal. So you might already know that it is a baby boy. Baby boy is on the way. That was a great moment finding out. I really wanted a son, so I was really happy when I found out it was a boy. And I also got to do my glucose test. I know some people do it later in pregnancy. I did mine pretty early, as every time I went to the doctors, they did like a urine sample, and one of my urine samples came back with some glucose in my urine. So my doctor sent me for my glucose test a bit early, but I had to wait to take it because I was sick. I didn't have to, but I was like so sick I wasn't going to go do it. So he sent me for it early, but by the time I waited to go take it, I think I only ended up doing it 2 weeks earlier than most women. And everything came back fine with that. He sent me for the bigger one. So instead of the 50 gram, I did the 75 gram. And then when I got to go see my OBGYN, because that's another thing that happens, is that you don't get to see your OBGYN until I think about 20 weeks, 20 to 23 weeks here in Ontario. So I was just seeing my regular doctor, and then I got switched over to her. So she got my results back from that, and I was so glad for it because I did not like taking it. I mean, it wasn't the worst. It didn't taste disgusting to me. Mine was just clear, but it was just like I didn't feel good, you know, not eating. And then mine was a longer test. I think it was like 3 hours. And then getting 3 rounds of blood work. It was just not fun. And then the last like major moment, like milestone I have written down is starting to feel baby move. Around, I think, like for me, I feel like I was feeling him earlier, but my brain couldn't like figure out what it was because it was my first pregnancy, and I like don't know what a baby's supposed to feel like inside of you. So I felt like the flutters that people talk about, but it didn't feel like butterflies to me necessarily. It felt like something, but like I didn't feel like butterflies. But I started to figure out that it really was him moving around, I think like 18 to 20 weeks is when I was like, okay, that's definitely baby moving. So for changes in emotional challenges, I only have like 2 things on my notes for this. My big one for like the emotional challenge was the anxiety I was having when I was sick. Every time I caught a cold, I would get so stressed and like kind of freak out, hoping he was fine and that he's okay, even though the colds weren't like completely bad. Like it wasn't the sickest I've ever felt in my life, but being sick and pregnant and not being able to take anything, and then like just hoping your body is going to be able to get rid of the virus or whatever's causing it, it was stressing me out. I have anxiety, I have health anxiety. It wasn't like the best time mentally dealing with being sick and pregnant. Another challenge that I feel like came in the second trimester that carried through into third trimester was how often everybody was telling me that I did not look pregnant. I'm already a thicker girl. And I mean, I wasn't super skinny when I got pregnant, but I thought I would have more of a belly because I already had a little belly before I got pregnant, but I wasn't showing really at all. And I think that comes from me being taller and my height is in my torso. So baby had a lot of space just to chill before he had to push out. And everybody felt the need to tell me. They didn't see that I was pregnant. They were like, there's no way. I can't even tell you're pregnant. I can't even tell you're 20 something weeks. That makes no sense. And I was like, at first I was like, I think this is a compliment because everyone would say you're carrying so well. And then I would get a little self-conscious about it because it's just like, I don't know, knowing you're pregnant, but then just constantly being told that you don't ever look pregnant. It's a lot in your head mentally, I feel. Moving on to things that help me / must-haves. The first thing that helped me, especially with the headaches, was staying away from caffeine. So my doctor said to cut caffeine out. I don't naturally consume a lot of caffeine even before pregnancy. I'm not like a coffee drinker every day type of person. I maybe have 1 coffee a week type of thing, and it depends on the season. I like my iced coffees in the summer, and I like kind of like the holiday drinks in the winter, but I just don't drink coffee that often. So the fact that I was kind of having it every once in a while, he did think that that was kind of triggering like a withdrawal type of thing. So I stay away from caffeine, and I did feel like it really helped. So wearing my hair in like a clip or wearing it down, not having it in a bun or a ponytail, definitely helped with the headaches. I feel like I was getting a lot of tension headaches. I think the hormones made me more prone to headaches, so anything could trigger them, whether it was tension, caffeine, stress. I was just getting them because they were just so like sensitive to come on. Another thing that helped me with my anxiety, and I do feel like health wise, was starting to wear a mask. So I worked with the public. I was a sales associate. So I was always around people, and I felt like that was one reason why I kept getting sick, because it just like, mind you, I was pregnant mostly all through the spring and summer. So the fact that I was getting sick in like the off sick season was stressing me out, because I'm like, how am I catching everything when people aren't even really sick at this moment? It's usually when the winter comes around when everyone's always sick, right? So I just made the decision to wear a face mask at work. I did wear it out a little bit like when I was off work, but especially when I was at work every day, all day, I was wearing a face mask. At that point, I was like, I'm taking it upon myself to set this boundary, and I'm just going to wear a mask. Another thing I felt like helped me kind of mentally and emotionally was prayer on my, like for myself, like me praying to the Lord, but also asking for prayer, because in the second trimester is when I announced my pregnancy. So everybody at church knew I was pregnant now at this point, and I had people praying over me, and I had women in my corner that I was able to like talk to and ask for help and ask for prayer. I had a lady at the altar like pray over my womb and over my belly, and I do really think that that helped me. Prayer in general, but having other people involved in the prayers for you. Product wise, I had a homemade body butter, and that was amazing. I still use it, and I'm still constantly making it. Honestly, it's in one of my videos on how to make it, but it had tons of different ingredients in it, a couple different like butters and oils in it, and I feel like that's helped my stretch marks so much, because my stretch marks, when they first started popping up, they were like bright red purpley, and now they've faded almost like to not being there. So once the baby's out and my skin can kind of come back, I do think using this body butter will even help even more. But yeah, getting a good like skincare routine for stretch marks can definitely help. When it came to sleeping, I found having pillows helped me better than my maternity pillow. I'd never used that at all in my second trimester. I was not messing with it. I didn't like it. My body hated it. So I just put a pillow behind my back and a pillow in the front by my belly. And that's all I slept with for like a good 4 months. And I was fine with it. Lastly, something that helped me was compression socks. Compression socks can help prevent varicose veins and spider veins, which I was already getting some of those in the pregnancy, and I think naturally from age. And it can help with swelling and just feet and sore legs and stuff like that. So I was wearing compression socks every day at work. That is it, guys, for my second trimester recap. I think this video was a lot more short and sweet. Me personally, the second trimester didn't come with too much extraness that the first trimester didn't already have, besides the stuff I already talked about. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what symptoms and stuff you guys went through in your second trimester. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.